forth. So I had to go somewhere more quiet to continue this video. I was talking about the fact that I don't believe, based on my experience since about 2012, 13, so much hacking. I have so much proof. I have videos of real-time videos of what was happening. I have witnesses who are with me. I have technicians who actually notice very serious technical abnormalities. I have printouts, photos of the screen captures, okay, these are in photos. So I have a lot of proof, but you know, I haven't been able to get a single lawyer. I can't get a lawyer, so it's been very difficult. So there's just nowhere to go. So basically, like I said, I don't believe that these are public. Now, I just wanted to stress that these symptoms are very strange, okay? They follow a very consistent, clear and consistent, it almost seems like well thought out pattern, like a Pavlov's dog. Now the other day, Sunday, yesterday, I released a video, and one of the things I talk about is how in mid-2016 I got hit with, you know, a slew, a barrage of these really weird symptoms that I'd never had before. This is just not even talking about the presentation or the way these symptoms are manifested. These are the symptoms themselves. My fingernails, in the title I say my fingernails all turned yellow all at once. They all turned yellow. And there was also a lot of incredible pain and stinging going on, and the stinging would intensify as I walked through the corridor, a certain part of the end of the kitchen, into the corridor and out to the garage where I do a certain activity. They would intensify, very profoundly intensify. So much pain during these periods. I'll call them periods. Well, smoking periods, basically. We're not talking about anything like illegal here. We're not talking about, you know, narcotics or anything. And very little, very little, very little. So anyway, so when just after I released this or uploaded this video to YouTube, and then I put in the title, which was, you know, simultaneous, sudden yellowing of all nails. And then in the description, I wrote about the stinging that came with it, a lot of extreme stinging of the cuticle areas, not the nails, the cuticle areas. Shortly, just after that, I started getting extreme stinging in my index finger. Okay, now I haven't felt this in quite a while, but then all of a sudden, just after I uploaded that video and wrote in that subject, extreme stinging of fingernails, there it comes. This extreme stinging of the fingernail, of the cuticle. So, and it was very painful. Because I remember I was eating my breakfast and it was so painful. I was going like this, right? And this is what's happened with these when it's stinging, because it's so painful. And there's absolutely no reason. There's absolutely no reason. I didn't injure them. I didn't bite them. They weren't bleeding. So there was no reason except for it just plays into this archetype of this really strange manifestation of these signs or symptoms. So, and then so it makes me feel like I'm being watched, right? Like makes you feel like you're being listened to or watched. Because like someone's playing a joke on you, right? That's a feeling I get, like somebody listening and then, oh, you talk about fingernails? Okay. Cuticles? Okay, here you go. And then right after that, and remember, I didn't feel that stinging for quite a while. It just happened again, in a big way right after I uploaded that video and wrote in the subject line. And then in another case, in a recent video, I was talking about how there are head movements that started in mid-2016 as well, in conjunction with all the other really weird symptoms. There's these head movements, including the gyrations of my ears thrust out, they jerk, my nose moves in and out, and my mouth literally moves back and forth. I never experienced anything like that in my life. That happened at the start of mid-2016. So in a video, I was talking about that, and what I said was, and I've never said this before, I said, you know, I don't have Parkinson's because I saw that on TV recently, because so many times, I'll get into that. And so what I say in the house gets, the same thing gets said in a movie. A movie gets played that night that says exactly what I said during the day. This happens all the time. Again, that lends credence to the fact that somehow I'm being listened to, because whatever I say in my house, there's a movie that's on that night that says exactly the same thing. And I got a really good example of that. Well, I'll get that to that shortly. But so I said Parkinson's. I've never said Parkinson's before. So lo and behold, that night I had incredible pain in my left arm and movement. It was moving as if I had Parkinson's, because I had said in that video that, you know, there's been no exhibition of any Parkinson's symptoms other than these really bizarre head movements that happen a lot when I'm writing letters of complaint, like the movement of the nose, the glasses, that kind of thing. Or if I'm lying on my pillow, the ear gyrations get really pronounced. So just after I said that in that video, guess what? I get a Parkinson's symptom. Really bad pain in my left arm and major movement, like it's involuntary movement, like it was moving. I was sleeping and it kept me awake. That's how, you know, acute it was. It was very bad pain and involuntary movement of my arms. And that was a stupid thing to do, but that doesn't really help. But anyway, it was my arms and fingers were moving involuntarily, and there's a lot of pain. And that's just after I mentioned Parkinson's. So that's another example is the demon seed, which is when I said that. I mean, I'm going to dedicate a video to this, but definitely. But a lot of times what I say is echoed back to me in so many ways. It's like I'm being listened to. It lends credence to this whole feeling I get. And I'm sure, I just can't say it because some doctor or some person will say, you're crazy, you are a paranoid schizophrenic, is what you are. So I can't say anything, right? Because I'm automatically paranoid schizophrenic, which I've never been diagnosed with in my entire life. I don't even come close to that, never even come close to that. Demon seed, just before I gained a lot of that weight that I've been talking about, like a major amount of weight, which is so atypical of me. It's also very atypical of me not to be able to lose it. And I haven't been able to lose a single pound. My whole body has changed. I feel like I'm pregnant. Like when I look at my body, it makes me feel like I'm pregnant. It reminds me very much of when I was pregnant, the way my body was when I was pregnant. So I remember that Demon Seed was playing constantly. This is when we were back in Rogers, when we had Rogers. It was constantly playing, and my husband comes in the room one night and he goes, "You're watching this again? This is a bad movie. Don't watch it." I said, "But it's always on. Like, there's nothing else to watch." So I'm watching Demon Seed again. And I remember just shortly thereafter, I gained so much weight. So it's like I must have been talking about the weight gain, or who knows, something even spookier. As I said, there's a lot of spooky things that have been happening in the house. I'm just thinking of the mirror here, the red beam that came out of the mirror. And I know I saw it. I've never complained about red beams in my mirror before. I saw a red beam. And as soon as I turned on the light, it disappeared. And this is just after the really bizarre symptoms started happening in my contour areas. So yeah, I'm going to stop there. I don't want to make the video too long, and I will continue shortly.